Hello and welcome to the HP WWF Smart Office Checklist webcast. I'm Frances Edmonds and I'm the Director of Environmental Programs at HP Canada. And what I'll be covering today is a checklist that will help you save money, resources, and reduce environmental impact focused on offices. So what I intend to cover today is an introduction of the program and why we need to review office costs and look at reducing footprint in offices. I'll look in detail at the Smart Office Checklist and give you some tips on how to use it. I'll also give you some references and further information for you to continue to explore this topic. This webcast is in support of one of the courses on HP Life called Energy Efficiency, or Do More for Less. This is focused on finding energy wastage in business and typically relates more to the manufacturing or operations side of a business. So this course, this webcast is a nice complement to that, as almost all businesses, small and large, have some degree of an office component, and it often gets forgotten about in the process of looking to find energy savings. So let's get to it. Why do we need to focus on offices? As I said, they're often a very forgotten component of a footprint or energy-saving program that businesses put in place, and yet they can have a significant impact. And I was able to find some data. This is a Canadian study that was done looking at the relative impacts of greenhouse gas emissions from the various office functions, I guess you would call it. So travel and commuting are often overlooked here as being a big part of the footprint or the environmental impact of offices, and we will be covering a little bit of that. But it gives you a relative ranking of the different kinds of things that we can be looking at when assessing offices. But just to come back to the concept of why offices are often forgotten, they're often thought of as relatively low impact in terms of the money spent on them and the savings that you can get from energy savings and other reductions, including the environmental footprint. But we know that combined, if we looked at the number of offices around the world, they add up to some significant numbers. So we want to ensure that you understand, yes, you can make changes yourselves, but making small changes in every office will make a big impact collectively, and of course you will also save money and reduce your own footprint, and it's important to do it in all areas of business. So how do employees think about offices and the work that they do in there? We know from looking at HP's own data that employees are a secret weapon. We know that a well-engaged or highly engaged employee will make your business very successful. Particularly in information technology industry, employees are what makes a difference for us. So we know this, and we know that many of the studies have shown that engaged employees are more profitable employees. We also know that employees who work in offices also want to contribute to reducing environmental impact. They've told us that very loudly and clearly. And so we need to look at some opportunities. Offices are a very visible piece of the business for the people who work there, and they can often feel that they aren't contributing or they're being missed out in the opportunities to contribute to lowering environmental footprint. So those are a couple of really good reasons for getting started on looking at offices. And we do know that the employees themselves and their own personal work habits can make a big difference to how much you're spending just in providing tools and resources in the office, and also the savings that can be done. So what is the Smart Office Checklist? This is a free, simple tool that's designed to lead you through all the actions that you can take to reduce and save money and reduce your office footprint. It's written to be used by somebody who has no background in this, so anybody can literally take this checklist and use it. The checklist is very simple, and it's linked so that you can get more information and find out quick tips and tools and resources actually within the checklist itself. So it's designed to be as helpful as it can, but also to be as simple as it can. It enables you to track your progress on the form itself. And from that, we'd encourage you to set some plans to make changes, get an idea, develop a plan for the top 3 things you're going to do. But more importantly, this isn't something that you just do once. We'd encourage you to keep coming back, perhaps annually, to keep improving in this area. There's always room to do more, and you may just choose to do a few things to get started, but you can continue on this, we often refer to a journey up Mount Sustainability, as you continue to improve your environmental and economic, because we know a lot of these things don't cost anything to do, but they do save you money. So let's have a look at it. So what I've done is taken some snips of the actual checklist here. So this is showing you how simple it is in terms of its layout. We go through a series of different subject areas, and here I'm showing you printing. And it asks a series of very simple questions for which you've got a yes, no, or don't know answer. And if you click on those yes, no, don't know answers, it will take you to further information there. So let's take an example. Are individual printers common on people's desks? So does everybody have their own printer, which is often something that happens over time. But what we do know is that this is not really necessary. People don't need an individual printer, and it can be very inefficient from an energy standpoint, because each printer is using energy. Ordering the supplies for the printer, sometimes there are different printers on everybody's desk, and it just cuts down on administration and wastage when you can go to shared printers. What we also know is that many offices don't print on both sides of the page, which is an obvious place to start. Most modern printers today will print on both sides of the page. It's called duplex printing, and that's the absolute simplest thing you can do in an office to save money, because it can save you up to 50% of your paper, and it doesn't cost you anything to do it if your printer already is able to do duplex printing. Some offices do require to print single-sided. Often legal documents are required to print on one side of the page only, but most printing can be done duplex and should be, and will save you a lot of money. And you can see here what we did was we added in some facts, and here you can see if we were encouraging U.S. businesses to replace all of their old printers with Energy Star qualified products, there would be a large savings in terms of electricity costs and obviously the greenhouse gas emissions that go with that. So we've tried to make it interesting and relevant for you as you go through the checklist. Here's a screenshot showing you a little bit about office paper. Obviously, when we're thinking about office paper, we're thinking about the stuff that we print on or perhaps write on. But there are other areas within an office or a business that use paper, and we did want to add those in here to make you think about them. Hand towels and toilet paper are particularly good examples because we use a lot of those. And we want to apply the same criteria when we buy the paper to make sure, for instance, that it is FSC, so Forest Stewardship Council certified, which means that it is sourced from a responsibly managed forest and it's not encouraging or contributing to deforestation and chopping down of tropical forests. So that's the only way you can tell the difference when you're buying paper, is to make sure that it has a logo like FSC. And of course, you want to make sure that any paper you do use, when you're done with it, is responsibly recycled. So here you can see, if you answered no, some examples of tips and things that you might want to know about. And I'm going to talk about the Living Planet at Work in the latter half of this webcast. But there are a huge amount of resources in that website for you to take and use for free. And here you can see we've included some information on HP's paper policy. If you're interested in going that far, encourage you to just leverage and copy what you need and take the best and go. Here's a little bit of information on personal computers. The main thing that you'd be wanting to look at is to make sure that your PCs, whether they're desktops or laptops, are Energy Star qualified, including the monitors as well. And you can make sure that when you buy new equipment that they are always Energy Star qualified. That's one of the most important things to do. But there are other eco-labels as well. And you can see here on the quick tips, talking about the power management tools that are loaded onto PCs. You should make sure that they are enabled on whatever product it is that you're using. So let's take a look at this Living Planet at Work program, which, as I said, gives you access to free tools and resources. This is a WWF program. It's web-enabled, so anybody anywhere in the world can take advantage of the tools and resources here and sign up for free. HP is a champion of this program, and we're very proud of the fact that it is actually an award-winning program. So what does it look like? Here's a shot of the screen that you would go to at that URL, and you can see here quite a busy screen, but lots of different things for you to do. You can log in if you're already a member. Of course, you can sign up for free. Here we usually have some information about the current campaigns that are going on, and it also lists how many other people have signed up to the program and what they're doing, as well as the links to all the other resources in the program. So if you were to sign up for this free program, what would you have access to? Well, there's lots of tips and tricks, and as you saw in the Smart Office checklist, it will refer you to some of the reference tools here in the Living Planet at Work program. It also shows you how to get started on doing things. If you're forming a green team, if you're wanting to do an energy audit, there are tools and resources in there. There's lots of videos and more webcasts for you to have access to, all about reducing environmental impact in business, and a wide range of business tools and resources. It also gives you some tools to help you track. I talked about the importance of this not being a one-off event. If you do the checklist, you want to come back at it a year later at least to see how you're doing, and tracking and measuring the differences and the savings, because when you see how much you can save, it'll give you incentive to go on and do more. We also know that often sharing the best practices across businesses and between the champions who have signed up to this program is a really effective way to encourage more to be done, so we help to share those stories and celebrate the successes. And there are also awards that go along with this program if you're interested in getting some recognition for the work that you do. Here's a screen snip just showing you the kinds of areas of information that you can get, and you can also look at whether you're a beginner, an intermediate, or an advanced user of the program. And all kinds of wonderful information, from how to set goals to signing up for the newsletter, lots there for you to take and use. So in summary, we've covered over the fact that offices can be a great place to start saving money and reducing your environmental impact. We know that combined offices around the world do have a significant footprint, even if they may seem small in your own business. We've reviewed the tool of the Smart Office checklist, which is freely available for you to use, and we've also given you access to the WWF Living Planet at Work program, where you can get additional resources. I hope you enjoy these and that you use them to your best advantage. Thank you.